What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So in the last Batman video, of course, we did have a bunch of rumors that these guys are going to the Video Games Awards show, which is in, I guess, 2 weeks. Well, technically not this week, it's next week, it's Friday the 13th. But before I continue into this video, because we have a bunch of interesting things that are now happening from the developers themselves. So I asked you guys, of course, a few questions in the last video, but my question to you guys now, which is very important, going on the time frame that if this game does get announced, would you rather it be on PlayStation 4 or would you rather them hold out and make it, a game that is released on next gen consoles, so the new Xbox and of course the PlayStation 5, or purely would you want backwards compatibility? I want you guys to get in the comment section below and leave your thoughts on that, because with the time frame now, there's a bunch of games coming out, of course. Is it worth it that they just hold out? You guys let me know in the comment section below. Now, diving into what this video is all about, some of you guys will already know what I'm about to talk about because I posted it in my community tab a couple of hours ago, which has a bunch of you guys talking, but it does come from Geoff Eleanor again. Now, just in case you don't know who Geoff Eleanor is, he is a game director over at WB Games Montreal. And if anyone that you can consider an insider has been teasing a new Batman game forever, it definitely has been Geoff. Over the last year, he has teased a bunch of stuff related to a new Batman game, teasing things like Court of Owls, etc, etc, and this time, something else has happened. So over on Twitter, he posted, "Hard to believe it's been 3 years at WB Games Montreal. Seems like For Honor was like a year ago. Hashtag game dev, dev live, and no sense of time." Now, the picture that is very important here is basically what is seen in the background. Now, of course, this does showcase a bunch of different things in terms of logos anyway, right? But a key thing that has a lot of people talking about is when it comes down to Geoff, it's always Batman related. Now, in this case, we do have the Batman logo that is right next to his ear, as you can see, and then there is a Batman poster. Now, just to clear up some, confusion, a lot of people were instantly assuming that, first of all, this is a teaser for the new Batman game, which, let's be honest, it more than likely is, but second of all, that if this is that, then this is basically the cover art for the new game, but it's actually the new 52 Batwing comic book, which was pointed out by someone, so that kind of clears that up as well. But I guess you have to look at the bigger picture here. Over the last year, Court of Owls is basically the big teaser around a new Batman game. And if you really go a bit more in depth, WB Montreal Games over on Twitter, their last tweet was this September 23rd, right? Which was, of course, this 5-second video that showed a bunch of Court of Owls logos and stuff like that, and it got over 25,000 likes. Now, I see people all the time saying we should just give up for this game because it's not happening. In the last video, a bunch of you guys were still talking about it, saying that, let's go back to when a lot of people had their hopes up for E3 and that, they didn't attend there. Why would it be announced, of course, at this Video Games Awards show, which is Friday the 13th? It's just not going to happen. Now, you have to look at the bigger picture, and more importantly, coming from a solid source, right? WB Montreal Games themselves over on Twitter. If they're going to post a little, a snippet video, like a 5-second video like what you just see, there is absolutely no way that they're going to, just irritate the entire community by teasing all these things essentially for over a year and then release a complete different game. You just have to look at the facts. It's definitely not going to happen. And if it did, the internet is just going to break, and I guess no one will probably know what to do at that stage. But if a 5-second video can also get over 25,000 likes, right, of just a bunch of logos, can you imagine what a snippet of some kind of trailer for a new Batman game would actually get? It's safe to say that I don't even think they need the Video Games Awards or any event to go ahead and announce this game, because I purely think the community behind, a Batman game or the Batman game series in general, there's a lot of support. So whatever they were to go ahead and release, I just think they could do it on social media. It just needs to be good. You have to take into consideration we got the Avengers game coming up and so forth, so whatever they release, it's definitely going to be good. And another thing people were doing was changing the brightness on this video so you can see more of the stuff that was on this picture. If I can find that picture again, I will post it on this video, but someone on Twitter called Andrew just basically said that in the image it shows, you know, Wonder Woman's symbol, you got Flash and a couple of others. I think this is just a poster, no significance. And then of course the person who did post it, which is the Capital Guy, you know, trying to get a lot of people hyped up about it, said this was a reach, probably has no meaning, but the comics on the wall are Court of Owls comics, so this confirms the involvement of the Owls. So you really just have to go off the solid information that we do have currently right now, that look, if this game is in the process, it's going to be announced relatively soon. But the question goes back to what I asked at the beginning of the video as to why they could possibly hold out on a few things, maybe to even next year. But I mean, the Video Games Awards is still one of those things that I guess you just have to be on the edge of your seat for. They might not even attend the event but post something on Twitter instead on Friday the 13th. You really just don't know with these guys. But if you had to ask me if I 100% think they're going to be announcing it when it comes down to December 13th, it's really hard to say because we've just been going a whole year with pure teasers, so no one really knows where they stand. All we know is that this is definitely a Batman game. Now, in the last video, I did ask you guys, you know, what are key things that you really feel that if, you know, this game is in the process when it gets released, what do you feel it really needs to have to be a successful game and essentially go for a game of the year? And a bunch of you guys left some comments on that, which I wanted to share as well because I want you guys to, you know, now add on to this. So first of all, we did have a longer story mode, which is definitely, you know, something very, very important. You want a game that's not going to get boring super quick, but a few of the ones that I really did like is a full day and night cycle as well as NPCs. Again, it depends on the type of world they're going for, whether or not it's just going to be an open world game where you can do a bunch of things you like. These are all questions that we just don't know, but I just want to touch upon that. If you know a big game is, you know, coming up, which in this case is the Avengers game, I would personally, as a developer, just look at what that game doesn't have that is a very basic feature that could make a game, you know, a lot more fun and I guess allow people to get the most out of it. It definitely would be to make the game open world, because right now we know the Avengers game isn't an open world game. So I would make this Batman game purely open world because I guess that instantly would just have the upper hand. Another thing was that we need to be able to play as Bruce Wayne and Batman, not just Batman. Again, multiple characters now in superhero games. I guess in games as a whole, right? It's more of a, I guess, just one of those obvious features now that more developers are sort of drifting towards. So if it didn't have that, I guess it would kind of be missing out on a big opportunity. But I would definitely say that a feature like that of having multiple characters would definitely, you know, change the story up a bit. Again, it could, you know, divert into multiple endings as well. But all in all, just getting to understand two completely different characters to some extent. We then had the same comment again by Bernard, which was that it needs to be Batman going into different buildings and hiding in the shadows like in the movies, cutting off lights and beating up criminals in the dark. Again, when it comes down to photo mode, or of course if they had a video mode, these small little details would make a very big difference. Now, going on to the top comment of this video, it was by Chatterbox97, and they said, honestly, I would like to see customizable bat suits, like a similar concept of the customization options in Injustice 2, which is like mix and match certain parts, maybe change a few colors on certain parts. Like maybe you could take the bat suit from Arkham Knight, and instead of having it a normal cape, you can give it the Batman Beyond wings, or maybe you could change the color of the blue and grey suit into black and grey. So again, I mean, customization in any game, especially a game like this, would definitely do well. And I guess if you really had to overall round it up into a final sort of, you know, decision on what this game needs, it's basically just the basic features that most games are now cutting off for many different reasons. I mean, it depends consoles they're releasing on, what their aim is with this, you know, the story mode of the game. It just depends. But if you're going for a pure gameplay aspect, that would definitely be right up there. But anyway, that's going to wrap up this video, so I want you guys to get in the comment section below, leave your thoughts, and again answer the question that I said at the beginning of the video, which was, do you think this game should even be released on the current gen consoles if they go ahead and announce it this year or early next year? or should they just hold out and purely make it a game that is going to be on new gen consoles, or should it have backwards compatibility? Again, very key question, so I want you guys to get in the comment section below and leave your thoughts, but I will see you in the next one. Till then, have yourselves a ridiculously amazing day, and until the next one, adios amigos.